Welcome to Live Your Best Midlife. I'm your host, Jill Lewis. Join me for inspiring pep talks and expert interviews as we explore staying active, feeling great, and embracing midlife adventures. Whether you're an empty nester, a pickleball enthusiast, or just ready to rediscover your vibrant self, this podcast is for you. Let's make our mid-years our best years. Now, on to the show. Welcome back to the podcast. This is Jill Lewis, your host, and today I have a special pep talk for you. We are talking about sugar. In fact, we're going to talk about breaking up with sugar and how to do that without feeling so darn deprived. So this is just a realistic approach to sugar cravings and balanced nutrition. And we're going to be really diving deep into this because I know that sugar cravings are it's such a real thing for all of us, whether you're in midlife or not. I feel like all of us, or most of us, have struggled with a sweet tooth and really want to dive into it because for one, I have had a huge sweet tooth almost my entire life. And I do feel like I've made huge progress with my sweet tooth over the last 5 years. So I kind of want to dive into it with you today. I want to talk about cutting back, but not wanting you to feel miserable or deprived. So we're going to be covering why sugar hijacks your brain and makes it so hard to quit. I want to talk about sugar cravings and how they changed during your menstrual cycle, why protein and electrolytes can help stop cravings, how alcohol affects blood sugar, the hidden sugars in food labels and what to watch for, the truth about fruit and why it's not the enemy, and then just actionable steps to break free from sugar without feeling like you're missing out. So let's get into it. So first of all, how addictive is sugar? We've all heard people say that, sugar is as addictive as a drug, but is that really true? Studies show that sugar activates the brain's reward system the same way that cocaine does. In one study, published in Neuroscience and Biobehavioral Reviews, rats given sugar chose it over cocaine, even when they were already addicted to the cocaine, that says a lot. The reason? Sugar triggers a massive dopamine release, creating a high followed by a crash, just like addictive substances. And the more sugar that you eat, the more your brain truly craves it. But unlike drugs, sugar is hidden everywhere in our food, even in things marketed as healthy. That's why breaking up with sugar requires awareness, not just willpower. Now, why are sugar cravings worse at certain times of the month? I find this to be a repetitive thing throughout my life. So if you've ever felt out of control with sugar cravings right before your period, you're not imagining it. There's a hormonal reason why this happens. So here's why sugar cravings spike before your period. So your estrogen drops and your progesterone rises, and that makes your body more insulin resistant. And this leads to blood sugar swings and increased hunger. Now, while that's happening, serotonin, which is your feel-good hormone, that's actually dips, making your brain crave quick dopamine hits. Hello, sugar and carbs. And your body, it is preparing for a potential pregnancy. That's why we have this cycle, right? And so it is increasing your need for calories. So it drives your cravings for fast, high energy foods. Isn't that wild? But it is biological, okay? But what can you do about it then? You can increase your protein and your healthy fats before your period to stabilize your blood sugar. You can boost magnesium, which is found in spinach, almonds, dark chocolate to curb cravings. And you don't have to fight cravings with perfect restriction, okay? You want to have a balanced high protein meal first and then see if the craving passes. A lot of times, if we make sure that I'm going to dive into this later, that we've had a balanced meal, that we've actually filled our body with protein, a lot of times those cravings are going to pass. I always tell my husband this. I'm like, okay, It's if I have a serving of food at dinner, it's so delicious. It's so good. I hate to brag on myself, but I do feel like when I cook at home sometimes, this was restaurant quality. This tasted so good. That makes me just want like the dopamine. It's like, yes, give me more. But I have to tell my husband, I'm going to wait 10 minutes and see how I feel. And nine times out of 10, I don't want any more after that. It's like I just need to give myself that pause. And so it's the same thing when it comes to like dessert. Just give yourself a few minutes to just see if that craving passes. Now, the best way to reduce sugar cravings naturally, and that is, like I just said, protein. Okay. I know you're probably like, if Jill mentions protein and how important that is one more time on this podcast, but I'm going to keep shouting it from the rooftops. Okay. This is something that's in your control. So, the number one way to stop sugar cravings is to eat more protein. Protein stabilizes your blood sugar and it prevents the crashes that lead to the cravings. Okay. Here's what you do. Every time you sit down to eat your meal, you make sure you're getting 25 to 30, I would say more like 30 to 40, but make sure you're getting around 30 grams of protein at every meal. Okay. Then you're going to start your day with protein. So, in the beginning of the day, when you break your fast, which is the word for breakfast, remember? So, when you break your fast, make sure you're not just grabbing a quick carb. Okay. So, instead of reaching for carbs or sugar, you want to be having something like eggs or Greek yogurt or a protein smoothie. Whatever you like that has protein, that's what you want. Okay. So you could try almonds, cottage cheese, turkey slices. Like, I do not care. It doesn't have to necessarily be like a breakfast food, like an egg, but you definitely want to be starting your day with protein. And then every meal thereafter, you're making sure that protein is the star of the plate. Okay. The second thing that you want to do when you're trying to reduce sugar is that you want to hydrate with electrolytes. Now, a lot of my clients, once they start working with me, we have this discussion. Some of them, with the intermittent fasting, they're reducing their ultra processed foods. They feel like they're in a bit of a funk like the first week or two. And I always tell them, like, you need to hydrate with electrolytes because they have reduced unwittingly, unknowingly, they have reduced the amount of sugar in their diet just by eating more whole food nutrition. And it's just interesting how they feel. It's the same thing with the sugar cravings, can be a sign of dehydration, could be a sign of low electrolytes. So we're not getting as much salt. So same thing with my clients. So they're not only have they reduced their sugar income unknowingly, they've really reduced their salt income by reducing the ultra processed foods. So cutting sugar lowers insulin levels, which makes your body excrete more water and sodium. Okay. Then you've got low potassium and magnesium levels can also make you feel tired and crave more sugar for quick energy. So, what I recommend my clients, and I'm going to recommend the same for you, is to maybe supplement with some electrolytes. So you don't have to go buy electrolytes. There's lots on the market. You got to be careful because you got to read labels because a lot of the electrolytes contain a lot of sugar. And I'm not talking about like Gatorade or things like that. I'm talking about ones that just truly have the basics. But of course, I love the faster way hydration. LMNT is another one that's pretty good. I really like ours because our natural flavors are, there's nothing hidden and secretive in there. Some other brands. But you could also, if you don't want to purchase electrolytes, you could drink water with a pinch of sea salt first thing in the morning. You can eat potassium rich foods like avocado, leafy greens, salmon, coconut water. You can also take magnesium before going to bed. I definitely do. I do magnesium glycinate, and that also helps with sleep. That's something that you don't just take whenever you feel like you need to sleep better. It has to be taken routinely. Okay. And you got to give it time to work. But those are all things to do. But yeah, hydrate with electrolytes. It's definitely going to help you as you are trying to cut the sweet tooth down in your life. While we're on this subject though, we got to talk about alcohol and sugar and how our body processes this because I feel like I just think we have to talk about it. And you all know your girl, I love a cocktail. I used to love drinking wine. It doesn't love me back, but I can still drink a cocktail, but I got to really watch it because there's so many hidden sugars in alcoholic beverages. So, does your body treat alcohol like sugar? Yeah, it does. Alcohol is metabolized by the liver, similarly to fructose, which is a form of sugar. And it causes blood sugar spikes and crashes, leading to, guess what? More sugar cravings. Some drinks, like wine, cocktails, and beer, contain hidden sugar. And alcohol also, this is a really key part, it lowers inhibition, making you more likely to overeat or crave sweets. On the nights, just pay attention to this. If you've been out drinking, when you come home at night, are you then getting in the pantry, getting in the fridge late at night? You have these cravings. Do you notice that maybe you've lost the inhibition on maybe you're going to reach if you're at a party or you're going to get dessert afterward where maybe you normally wouldn't or you're grabbing food that you might not, or maybe you're going to go through a drive-through on your way home, hit up Taco Bell or something else like that. So it's just something to be aware of. So to make better choices, stick to the lower sugar options, tequila, vodka, dry wine over the rest. I'm not telling you that this is what you should do. I'm just telling you you've heard me say all alcohol is a toxin. Choose wisely. These are the ones that are the lower sugar ones to choose from. Pair alcohol with protein and healthy fats to slow the blood sugar spikes. There should be a method to the madness when it comes to your eating. If you start with the fiber first and then your protein and fats, that's definitely going to help. When we go to a restaurant, what it's the first thing they give you is bread and alcohol, and it's like this massive insulin spike. So we want to pair alcohol more. So if you could delay the drink, that would be ideal. And then hydrate again with electrolytes before drinking to avoid dehydration cravings later. That is so important to do. And like I said, there's a lot of electrolytes out there on the market, but you got to be looking at the label and make sure that it doesn't have sugar as a part of the ingredients. There are a lot of electrolytes out there that have a teaspoon or two per serving of sugar, which defeats the purpose, in my opinion. If you've been curious about intermittent fasting but aren't sure where to start, or maybe you've been trying intermittent fasting but you're not sure which protocol is right for you, well, I've got just the thing. The Faster Way to Fat Loss just created a brand new intermittent fasting quiz, and it's the perfect way to find out if your fasting routine is actually working for you. In just a few quick questions, you'll discover your fasting personality and get personalized tips to maximize fat loss, energy, and overall health. No more guesswork, just clear, simple guidance to help you fast smarter. And the best part, it's totally free. So just head to the link in today's show notes to take the quiz now. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Go take the quiz and let's make intermittent fasting work for you. All right. There's hidden sugars in like everyday foods, and we really do need to be a label detective because you could be sitting here going, Jill, I don't really have a sweet tooth. I don't think this is an issue for me. But sugar isn't just in candy and soda. It is literally hiding everywhere, even in quote healthy foods. Here's some grocery store examples. Like look at your peanut butter. Many brands add sugar to it. So you want to be looking for ingredients that only list almonds and salt or peanuts and salt, right? Salad dressings are a huge culprit. If you buy bottled salad dressing, even the quote light dressings can have more sugar than a freaking donut, which is nuts. What's better is I just make my own. I do olive oil, some vinegar, like I do either apple cider or red wine vinegar, and then some garlic, salt, and pepper. It's delicious. It's so simple. But you want to check the label for under 2 grams of 2 grams of sugar per serving. And then yogurt. Flavored yogurts often have as much sugar as ice cream. Now, that is insane. And what are we doing here? That cannot be helping us at all. So you want to be choosing plain Greek yogurt and then add fruit instead. There is a brand, it's called Too Good, like as in 2 grams of sugar, Too Good, and it only has 2 grams of sugar per container. So that's an option. What I like to do on that brand, I like to mix it with plain Greek yogurt because for me, plain Greek yogurt is just, it's okay. It's not great. But if I mix the Too Good with the plain, That works really well for me. And then you can add some fruit. You could add like a sparingly, add some granola, add some protein powder or whatever. That's a protein bomb for sure. But sneaky sugar names that I want you to start looking for when you are in the grocery store and you're looking at packaged foods, something in a bottle, something in a package, something in a jar. Pay attention to these names. Now, the obvious ones are going to be cane sugar. Okay. High fructose corn syrup. That's a terrible one. Honey and agave nectar. Okay. So those are obvious ones. There's something about agave nectar that makes me think, oh, it's healthier. It's still sugar. Okay. Same thing with honey. Yes, it's a natural, like pure maple syrup and honey. It's sugar. All right. So you see it on the label, like it's sugar. Yes, it's if you can get pure honey, pure maple syrup, better than some other choices, but it's still sugar. Now, sneakier ones would be maltodextrin, dextrose, sucrose, and evaporated cane juice. Those are all sneakier sugar names. All right. Then you've got ones that sound healthy, but they're still sugar. And that would be coconut sugar, brown rice syrup, fruit juice concentrate. It's all sugar. Okay. So the thing that we can get in trouble with is like food manufacturers, you might see sugar on the label, but then you also might see high fructose corn syrup or brown rice syrup, or it might have fruit juice concentrate, high fructose corn syrup, and cane sugar. You're like, holy cow, that is a massive sugar bomb. Like it's got all of them, but they're able to like kind of be sneaky about it because they're listing them as different names, but it's all sugar. Okay. So we got to be careful of those. Now, let's talk about fruit because this is something that gets on my last nerve when people out there talk about fruit and like they're going to avoid eating fruit because it's got sugar in it. And even like Nate Bargatze, the comedian who I think is hilarious, like he has a joke about this in his stand-up routine. He doesn't have any like fat friends that became fat because they were just overdoing the fruit. Who are the fruit fat people out there? Like I've never seen one. I just think it's so funny that he took that to mainstream because it's been driving me crazy in the 5, 6 years that I've been coaching. Fruit contains natural sugar, but it's not the same as refined sugar. And here's why fruit is better than refined sugar. It comes with fiber. Okay, fruit has fiber, and that slows your digestion and it helps prevent blood sugar spikes. It is also, so we're talking about fruit, it's packed with vitamins and minerals and antioxidants that support overall health. And the fiber, it keeps you full. So, unlike processed sugar that leaves you hungry, and this is going to keep you full. All right. So, love me some fruit. The best fruits for blood sugar balance are going to be berries for sure. They're low in sugar, they're high in fiber. I'm talking blueberries, raspberries, strawberry, all of those, blackberries. They're amazing. Apples are really good. Apples got fiber in it. Pair it with some almond butter for real balanced energy. Not so much of an insulin spike. If you're somebody that really does have to watch your sugar, you can have fruit, but maybe you just need to pair it with a healthier fat so that you're not going to have such a blood sugar spike. And then citrus fruits are great because they're packed with vitamin C and also fiber. Of course, a banana, I'm never going to tell you, no, you can't have a banana. I wouldn't be eating like 3 or 4 bananas a day. Same thing with like pineapple. My family is obsessed with pineapple. I love it. It's good for like congestion and there's so many good things about it. But no, I'm not eating a pineapple like every day of the week. But yeah, like I definitely enjoy fruit guilt free. And then really just be thinking about mindful awareness when it comes to your desserts. Like if you're really craving something and you've done all those steps we just talked about, just go ahead and if you want to make a dessert, I think this is really the big change for me is when I stopped buying the processed crap at the grocery store. So I'm not buying the prepackaged cookies and all that kind of stuff anymore. I don't buy the box mixes really anymore. I am more about if I'm gonna enjoy something, I'm gonna know what the ingredients are in it. I'm gonna make it myself. It's gonna be a special occasion. And like I said, I know what the ingredients are and they're pretty basic. There's nothing in there that I'm like, this isn't really that harmful for me because I don't do it that often. So If I make it myself and I enjoy it, big thing for me is to not have it in the house all the time. So it's just my husband, and I'm going to make smaller batches of it. So, like for my husband and I'm not going to make like a huge pan of brownies and then have it sitting in the house all week. I'm going to actually maybe just make something where I make two small ramekins. So, a lot of times for me, if I'm going to do like the microwave cake, or I might do the molten lava cakes that you can make in little individual things, or I might do a blueberry crumble, or like a little apple crisp, but I'm not going to make a huge pan of it. I'm going to make it in two small ramekins so we each get a serving. It was delicious, but then it's gone. So I take a recipe, I break it down, I just make it in two small containers, and then it's done. And we're not going to be like having this all week long. That's where kind of we get into trouble. Another thing I don't do, like we don't do donuts in the mornings. I don't buy cereal for our house. This was something that was been a work in progress for us over the last 6, 7 years. And I have to tell you, it's the best thing that I've done for my husband and myself. There's no sugary cereal that we're diving into. Now, that doesn't mean we don't have sugar. Like my husband loves, you got to pick your battles. He would love to have cereal at night, but I don't want him to be diabetic. So I don't let him have it. I want him to be around for a long time and to be healthy. But like he loves oatmeal. So he buys the kind that you just microwave. Is it the best choice? No. He tries to buy the lower sugar one. Is it a great choice? No, but he does add nut butter to it. He will put some berries in there, or some cinnamon, things like that, which by the way, cinnamon is a great one to add into your coffee. Really good for sugar cravings as well. But yeah, so we have just changed our lifestyle, but it doesn't happen overnight. I think that's the big thing that I want to tell you about. Be mindful of your cravings. Ask yourself, am I really hungry? Or am I just tired? Or am I stressed? If you slow down and don't just immediately grab something, that really does help. For me, something I do as well is I keep the Lily's dark chocolate chips in the house. That brand is really good. The dark chocolate actually has some fiber to it, and a little goes a long way. And I might mix that if I'm doing a couple of low carb days. That might be like my dessert, where I'm going to mix that some of those chocolate chips, like maybe two servings of the chocolate chips with a serving of almonds. And that usually does it for me. I don't buy like a candy bar, like a big dark chocolate candy bar that I think I might just have one serving, and then that might lead to a lot extra. I like to buy things in smaller containers, smaller packaging, so that one and done. There are a lot of little dark chocolate candies out there that are pretty good. You want to make sure that the when you're buying chocolate, it's truly dark chocolate. I think what is it, over 70% dark chocolate. It's actually pretty good for you. So I don't consider that to be anything that is is like going off the rails. Also, another thing I do, if I have a sweet tooth, I might just make a chocolate protein shake. And it's like my chocolate protein powder. I'm going to put in there my maybe a little nut butter, maybe a banana. I call that the chunky monkey one. Or I might do more of a tropical one with some fruit in there, other fruit in there, the frozen pineapple or frozen mango, and some vanilla protein powder. That's really good with some type of liquid like a dairy-free milk or whatever kind of milk that you like. That's a really good one too. That kind of curbs the sweet tooth. I'm a chocoholic, so I definitely like the chocolate ones, but I just make it work for me. That kind of just makes that sweet tooth go away. It satisfies that craving. Another thing I do is I drink in the afternoons. I have oh gosh, the strawberry lemonade collagen from the Faster Way. That helps me so much. I know that sounds crazy, but I can put that into a 40-ounce bottle of water, one serving of that. I'm getting my collagen, tastes amazing, so delicious. It's just the right amount of sweetness for me. And that sails me all day long. So I'm not like craving sodas or anything because I have that flavored water. So that's something to consider as well. But when I choose, what I've noticed is that when I hit my protein goal, which mine's pretty high, when I hit my protein goal and I'm eating real food, it's like I don't even feel like I'm deprived. I don't think about it because I'm eating enough. So for me, I think all those years that I was having such intense cravings was because I was depriving myself all day long. And then in the evenings, it was like I couldn't get enough. And so when you're restricting yourself all day and then it's like you're eating like a garbage disposal at night, that's where the trouble comes in. So my challenge for you would be eat more during the day. Give yourself some credit. Like you need to eat, like you need to nourish your body. So when you break your fast, eat a lot of protein, fill yourself up, eat meals where you're not just eating these tiny little snacks, just grazing all day long, but actually eat 3 meals a day. You're going to notice a huge shift in the cravings that you have going on. Stay hydrated. Make sure you've got those electrolytes in. You're going to eat 3 meals a day, making sure you're getting that protein in. And I truly believe that those sweet tooth cravings are going to say, see you later. So, anyway, I hope that was helpful and I hope you enjoyed this pep talk. And I can't wait to see you next week. Thank you so much for tuning in to Live Your Best Midlife. If you enjoyed today's episode, please hit that follow button. And if you want to help more people discover my podcast, I'd be so grateful if you could take a moment to leave a rating and a review. Your feedback not only brightens my day, but it helps others to find my show. And if you're craving some more behind the scenes action, follow me on TikTok at Jill Lewis Living or on Instagram at Jill B. Lewis.